Another edition of Yap Break Radio. Where the fucking image is at? Hold on. Give me a second, give me a second, give me a second. So we look somewhat professional here. Here we go. There you go. Dunzo. Alright, welcome back to Yap Break Radio. I'm Who This. At Who This is one here on YouTube Live where you get these first. You can always watch these back too on a replay later on. But Yap Break Radio is always live and for the most part impromptu for the time being. I'm not too sure when exactly I'll be able to get on a set schedule, only because, and I'm sure those of you that work like I do for a living, you gotta pay the bills. They're real out here, just like life is. You got to best accommodate the time permitted, afforded to you as far as what you're paid to do within them hours to get all your work done. But God forbid, you're a little, I wouldn't dare say overwhelmed. I signed up for the job literally, and I do it best I can, as much as I can within the time permitted, but sometimes it's not like you want to let things slip through the crack or cracks, but it just happens. This is what it is, hold on a second, your date of birth is. So yeah, we're here, back to Yap Break Radio again at Who This Is One's the handle here on YouTube and or for the socials. If you'd like to check me out on any of those, let me just make sure we can get to the pinned comment. So it's there. One second. Oh my God, 1 second, please. Bear with me. Oh, fuck me, come on. Of course this thing won't go bald. We can leave it alone then, fuck it. Hold on a second, hold on. There we go. All right, just wanted to make sure I pinned the comments so that we're aware of what we're talking about today. At least, again, Yap Break Radio, not no long format ass shit, not no in-depth, in length. Well, not so much now because I don't have a lot of time afforded to me, but I have enough to take a little Yap Break, hence the Yap Break Radio and all that shit. Thanks for joining me. Let's see, we're working right now still. We're on the clock technically, but I'm double dutying. I'm multitasking, as they say. I don't know if that's the cool thing to do, but it's real enough out here to have to do so because, again, sometimes you just get overwhelmed as is, and you can't help that, and you can't combat it either, except by just doing as much as you can in time afforded to you, allotted to you, and expected of you to do so, to perform your task and all that shit, right? This is gonna be a long one. Fuck. Okay, that's no problem. Just make sure something here. Okay, good. We're good. So, I'm not a boxing expert or pro or really well versed in that universe. I only know the big names when they were big and huge and taking over the sports world. Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, and Floyd Mayweather and such and whoever else is there too. I'm not disrespecting boxing by saying that, but I'm being honest in my approach and saying I am by no means an expert, so I'm not going to yap and say anything like I am or pretend that I am. But just like a lot of you out there, not you maybe specifically, but a lot of you other ones out there, if this applies to you as well as it does to me, a subscriber to Netflix, and when you get a live event thrown your way, included with your subscription, why not watch? Check it out, like I did a couple weeks back with the Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul fight. I don't need to tell you, the world's already done its job of informing the rest of us out there who didn't watch it or just got done watching it via, I love the internet for this shit. Like, there's no slacking when it comes to memes, there's no slacking when it comes to news, instantaneously just like that, via Twitter, via whatever social media of choice. Twitter's the one that gets everything like right away because screenshots, captions go right up there, and there's no real need to wait that long. So everybody found out, as everybody did live in person watching the thing and paid tickets to go see it live direct, when Anthony Joshua knocked out Jake Paul. Third, whatever, knockdown, whatever it was. I remember watching the fight, so I did see that. Although I had to pause the majority of it, I forget what happened, but I got distracted. Something came up, so I had to pause it for a little bit, then come back to it like after the fact. It got so late, I didn't even check out the Dave Chappelle surprise drop special after the fight on Netflix exclusively. So I still have that to get over to eventually to watch. I am a Chappelle fan, but I heard not the best feedback from that special. If you watched it, drop it in the comments. Let me know what you thought of it. Just like Harold.Angie. Hi. Hello to you. Harold.Angie in the comments. Now, a lot of people are very happy over Jake Paul not just being knocked out or taking the L. Even though he set up the fight, he got the money bag as big and as wide as it was to pay off both fighters, Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. People were very happy and content with seeing Jake Paul lose. So he did, jaw broken in 2 places via Anthony Joshua. As far as my research shows, 36 years old, a gold medal Olympist in boxing, British, so that automatically drives a riz up, an uncountable amount of points. Sometimes I wish I had a British accent, but then again, I don't like to downplay. I don't like to, I'll never be ashamed of being from Queens, New York specifically, so I do have that accent very prominently, but I'd like to think, would life be different if I had a British accent? What's that part of England that's like kind of slumming it a little bit, the way it sounds like the Cockney accent? Oi, mate. No, that's Australian. Never mind. Let me not delve into that too much. But if you're British, let me know in the comments too. Let me know if life's been easier for you, not in England, but outside of England, perhaps, courtesy of your British accent, your English accent, and all that, right? I like to think of it that way. And Anthony Joshua too, he did lose to, what was that guy's name? The fat guy. The first time they fought, and then they fought in a rematch, and he actually beat him. But everyone remembers, of course, the first time he lost to the fat guy, shorter, fatter. No one had any real hopes or expectations of Fat Boy winning. I don't mean to say Fat Boy, just for the sake of, I can't remember his name right now, so forgive me for that. But I remember watching that fight live. This is when I barely even knew I didn't even know who Anthony Joshua was. I just saw boxing. I think I was over at a friend's house. We were watching, and he threw it on. He was like, "Oh yeah, let's watch this a little bit." I was like, okay, whatever. It's whatever. It's on TV. Fuck it. Let's watch it. We do, and he immediately, my friend, who's not my friend anymore, we're talking about years ago during that original fight, the first one, was one of those meatheads that thought he could fight just because he lifted weights, which is so far from the truth, reality check. I hope he never got one ever since we stopped being friends, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ever got like a reality check, like do by somebody half his size who had like actual hands and or hand speed compared to him just big and muscular for nothing, right? We put no money on it, but he was like, oh, come on, the black guy's gonna fight. He's like 6-something feet tall. He's like 6'5", 6'6", whatever, and jacked and gilled, whatever. Again, that doesn't mean you can fight. But Anthony Joshua is a very good fighter from, obviously, his Jake Paul fight, but also his past fights, other fights he's been in. Obviously, he's that good of a fighter if he went from winning gold at the Olympics back in 2012 to going pro after that. So God bless him. He's 36. I'd still say that's fairly young, but maybe not so young anymore for boxing. Fast forward to that, now we got, oh yeah, and right, talking about that old fight with the fat guy, I would have made so much money had I put money down on my gut feeling, had I trusted enough to go with the fat guy. Because I saw him and I was like, he's out of shape, very sloppy, not presentable enough in terms of boxing, but I saw him throw a couple of punches. I was like, he's got hand speed, he knows how to throw them hands too. So even if he's disheveled, fat, schlubby looking, whatever, I think black dude or Anthony Joshua has a problem on his hands. And end result was he lost that first one with the guy. Till he got the rematch, he beat him afterwards, and then, well, that's ancient history at this point, because everyone focused now on Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul. End result, got the win over Jake Paul, broke his jaw in 2 places, only for, what was it, like a week later or something like that, or some days after the fact, the accident was in Nigeria? I forget now. I can't remember shit. I think it was Nigeria. If it's not, please correct me in the comments. Don't feel bad about doing so. Just want to be right about this here. So, gets into an accident, a fatal car crash. He comes out of it with minor scratches, Anthony Joshua. But in return or in exchange, it's two of his close friends that were traveling with him that lost their life. Rest in peace to them. Unfortunately, very sad to see how that unfolded. So, now the rumor is, it hasn't been confirmed as of yet from what I can see, the little bit of research I've been doing. But apparently the rumor is, and they also had to dispel the rumor because someone uploaded an AI video of him announcing his retirement officially, which has since been debunked. Thank goodness for that. Look, I use AI. I'm no, I'm not shy of admitting that I use ChatGPT for input, just for like, double checking shit, whatever. And I know otherwise to Google as well too, because as ChatGPT says in the app on the very bottom, two in small letters, ChatGPT is AI. It may not be completely correct, et cetera, et cetera. So at least it knows, it has enough courtesy to do that for you, right? I got no shame in using Sora to create some clips sometimes and have fun that way. But at least, we've been able to debunk the AI version of Anthony Joshua apparently saying, I'm retiring now because of what happened. The rumor is he will be announcing his retirement because of losing two people that close to him as a result of said accident. And I guess, if anything, he's at a crossroads right now, the way we can look at it. 36 again, not old, but not too young in terms of the sports world, which boxing, of all things, is very unforgiving to the body. Like, I'm no boxer. I never boxed like that ever. Eventually, I'd love to get into some boxing classes just to learning the very basic techniques for the sake of learning how to do the cardio they do to stay in that kind of shape. That's all I'd ever want to do. I'm too old to even think about fighting professionally. God forbid. I'm too clumsy anyway. 36 ain't old, but it ain't too young. Boxing is very unforgiving to the body. He's been through enough. He's accomplished plenty enough too. Multiple time champion, fighting at the heavyweight ranking, Olympic gold medalist, went pro right after. A lot of wins, plenty of W's racked up, some L's along the path too, but his most recent W came at the, not so much something you could gloat about like that in terms of being a boxer, but at least he took a big W over somebody that a lot of people, a general consensus I guess would say, either don't know enough about Jake Paul, don't care about what he's doing, or just don't like him, and or his brother Logan Paul. I fall into, I guess, the gray zone of all those, as far as I don't know enough about them, I don't care, and I wouldn't say I don't like him or Logan, but I don't care for them, really, what they're up to, what they do. But I'm guilty. I did watch the fight in real time when it happened, so I had enough interest in that just for the sake of boxing, free on Netflix. What's free anymore nowadays, right? Especially with Netflix. Everybody's complaining about, like $25 a month just to get like the Ultra HD 4K Netflix. I don't know what everybody's crying about. Well, I get it if you're paying that price. But I don't know what everybody's crying about having to pay that price when if you get a new enough TV, and TVs ain't that expensive no more. So let's not even cry about, oh my God, the 65-inch with the liquid display, whatever shit attached to it. Yeah, those can cost like a couple of $1,000s. But I just bought a TV now. It was like 60 inches. I think it was a Toshiba. I did a little bit of research, but this was recommended, plenty enough good reviews about it. I think I only paid like, was it right before Black Friday or Black Friday? I forget, but I got it. No, oh shit, I'm talking about like almost summertime I got that. Right. Way before Black Friday. So I got that one for like just under $300, 60-inch Toshiba, very thin. Like, I don't know how this TV is a TV at all, or how it has any components inside, or how it functions, or how they put it together. God bless Toshiba, because this is the first TV ever of that size. 60 inches ain't so big nowadays, pause, TV-wise. But this is the first TV of that size and of that technology that I could one arm just about anywhere I go. Super light, featherweight almost, carried around like that. You get that kind of TV with good enough HDMI cables, and I think you're pretty much set and straight. And hope your fucking router is close enough to the whatever you use to broadcast your Netflix with. Like I use my PS5 to view Netflix on. I have no problem. Quality is, to me at least, top notch. And I'm no, I'm no addict for graphics. I'm not like, I'm not a elitist when it comes to that shit at all. I do appreciate a nice set of visuals, but I'm not obsessed over it either. I'm not anal about it. But I see shit just fine on the very basic bottom tier. Like I think I pay like $8 or $9 a month for Netflix. The lowest tier available via Netflix. That's what I've had for years now. And oh, you know what? I still got that offer from T-Mobile as a T-Mobile customer to like have them cover my fucking T-Mobile. I wish they covered my T-Mobile bill. Have them cover my Netflix subscription for being a T-Mobile subscriber. So there's that to consider too. I can actually get Netflix for free entirely. And I got no complaints as far as the connection to stream is concerned. But point being, I watched it because it was free on Netflix, just like I'm sure a lot of us did. Something to watch on Friday night. Watched it for the sake of that. Okay, no harm done. But to think the guy now, Anthony Joshua, after his, let's say, in terms of the press, general public, biggest win, biggest accomplishment of defeating the highly unlikable. Again, I don't dislike or hate the Pauls, Logan or Jake. I just don't care for them that much. What they do it doesn't affect me, or what they eat won't make me shit kind of thing. But to see him win over Jake Paul and getting paid basically to fight him with the idea that either the fight might be fixed, he might take a fall just because Jake Paul paid him enough to do so, and this guy's still fairly young in comparison to everybody else Jake Paul's taken on till now. Bigger, much bigger visibly, and actually like not the best boxer ever maybe he's faced, but at least still relatively in his prime, strong, young, fast, in shape, in incredible shape for a boxer on top of that. Would he either take him and make him go the distance and make the guy look pathetic, the professional look pathetic, or would at some point the professional take the fall? Which did not happen, of course. What was it, 6-round knockout and result, Jake Paul jaw broke in 2 places. Having won a gold medal in the Olympics, again, I'm making this point, I'm sorry, but winning so many titles and getting the biggest, most publicly lauded W in your entire career, even though you've had plenty of W's before that, Anthony Joshua I'm referring to. I think the man has done enough if he does confirm that he will be retiring. If the rumors are true, as per I think I read it was an uncle, close family member that said amongst them chit chatter and someone overheard, Anthony's thinking about retiring because of losing 2 of his friends via that car accident he was involved in, where he came out, God bless, he came out of it, which is minor scratches, very nothing almost as a result, but in exchange of 2 people very close to him dying as a result of the accident like that. There's this theory, there's a conspiracy theory of, well, Jake probably did pay him to take a fucking, to take an L, lose to him so that they could, make it seem like Jake is unstoppable, a fucking monster and shit. But Anthony Joshua accidentally won, so that's why the accident happened. It was a plot. It was, planned by Jake Paul to kill him off for publicly shaming him and breaking his jaw in 2 places. That's a wild theory to think. Then again, anything is possible. Who the fuck knows? I'm not saying Jake Paul did it. Let me just, throw that out there. Allegedly, and it's conspiracy theory, who knows? But stranger things have happened, just like Stranger Things ending. I never watched it, so you can tell me in the comments if you like, if it's even worth watching, because all I've heard about the ending of Stranger Things is that apparently it wasn't worth it. It was just like a big wet fart, basically. Anthony Joshua retiring, though, seeing everything he's accomplished till now, though, I'd say if he really wanted to retire, I'd say go for it. No harm done. He's done plenty enough. His biggest, most publicly celebrated W imaginable, possible, marketed at the expense of Jake Paul. I think that's pretty much the best way to end a career, if he really wanted to, and if the rumors are true at all. Emotionally, I understand if he wants to do that as a result of his two close friends dying in that car accident right after the biggest, most publicly lauded W in his entire career, in his life. He's done enough. Why do any more? Why do much more? And it's not like he's going to blame. That's also crazy to think, because I really would hope there's someone close enough, or people close enough, to check in with him to see if he's all right, up here as a result. Not saying he's crazy, but having that happen right after one of the highlights of your career and or possibly your life, losing two friends like that, two close associates like that, he might still be harboring, or he might harbor for God knows how long, the guilt factor. Incorrectly imposed on himself, but he might think, oh God, it's my fault if we had never been in, God, I forget if it was whatever the country was in Africa, right? Yeah, wherever it happened. Oh, if I would have taken another car, if we would have taken another driver instead, if I had trusted my gut and waited till later or left earlier, something like that. All these things and scenarios that come up into your head and haunt you and make you think that ultimately you're at fault. He might be going through that. So yes, mental health, absolutely, in a nutshell. But I hope he has enough people around him to keep him grounded, in terms of don't think too much of what you could have done or what should have happened had you done something different, but just live in the moment now. Yes, unfortunately, you lost some close associates as a result of a freak car accident. You came out of it unscathed. Thank God for that, at least. You're still here with us. So you can do, and he's been attending funeral back to back, as a result of these two passing away. But it'd be good to check on him to see if he's doing all right. Because to go from that big a high to that low of a low, it can do something to you. In between is where it gets you, for the most part. I don't know, maybe you can relate to an extent something similar like that happening to you. I can't really think anything offhand that might have happened to me, perhaps. But again, Anthony Joshua says this is it, wants to retire, right on to the sunset. After this whole debacle went down, the fight, and then some days removed, a freak accident where two people close to him just die, rest in peace. I'd say he's entitled to it. Why not? Hope he's good mentally, hope he's good spiritually. He could be at peace, hopefully sometime soon, if he's grieving or he's really going through it, thinking again, God forbid, it was my fault. If I had done things different, had I left early or late or whatever, they'd still be here with me. Hopefully he's not carrying that around with him, because he's been through enough already with, God, oh, Jesus, I hate to make light of it, but after winning and getting that big ass bag from winning, then to get taxed from it twice, from us here in the US and then from the UK as well. Well, you still got some millions left over, but then that has to get divvied up amongst your team and your people. Then what's he left with? Maybe hopefully some millions too, but imagine going from, I forget how much he was supposed to get paid, like in the hundreds of millions, I think, dwindling down to like in the tens of millions only, what he ends up with. Still not a bad payday, but just imagine what would be if taxes weren't that much of an end boss, a final boss pretty much, right? I don't know. That's more financial advice to talk about on that end. That's going to do it for me today on Yap Break Radio. Just wanted to touch on that to see how do you feel? What do you think? Anthony Joshua, should he retire? If he feels like retiring, will he announce his retirement? Will he just hang it all up after what happened in a matter of days? Biggest career win in his life, in his career, some days removed from right after having two of his close associates pass away like that in a freak car accident where he came out safe, no harm done, but two people lost their lives. And hopefully he doesn't blame himself for having that happen. I'm Who This, at Who This Is One. This has been Yap Break Radio, at Who This Is One's a tag also for the social media, as well as beacons.ai/who this is one to see all my links, to click around there, see whatever suits you, floats your boat best, to see if you want to follow me, keep tabs and see when I'll be live again. Hopefully, if not tomorrow, Friday, definitely I'll be back on live for some more Yap Break Radio. I'd appreciate it if you haven't yet to sub to the channel, to like the video right now, today, the live right now going on right now. Still, this the very final stretch of Yap Break Radio is we're going to end right now. I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, and some more Yap Break Radio coming your way later on this week.